Welcome, I'm Lauren from Zestel Kitchen, and welcome to Everyday Gourmet, where I share realistic recipes for the avid home cook using fresh ingredients and global flavors. This recipe does not use either of those, but we are making peanut brittle. It's a really fun holiday dessert recipe. It's great for gifting. It has a few tricky parts with temperature, but if you have a thermometer, it's very easy to make. I'll walk you through each step. First things first, we gotta talk about the peanuts. So when I developed this recipe, I used dry roasted peanuts. They're easy to find. You can find them anywhere. However, I got a lot of complaints from my uncle, and if I were to make it true to Grandma Gusty's recipe, you would use red-skinned Spanish peanuts. These are harder to find. I have been able to find them in a bag like this, but I also just found that Planters makes them. So I think that they're easier to find than I thought they were. This is more traditional. This is what we're gonna use today to make them, but you can use salted roasted peanuts. The only thing is I recommend really looking at the ingredients. Regular salted roasted peanuts have like paprika and garlic powder and onion powder. So you might have to use lightly salted. The ingredients should just be peanuts and salt and maybe some oil. So make sure you're doing that. Otherwise you're gonna have a very weirdly savory peanut brittle. Whoa. You can measure this out by cup or you can do it by weight. I have both measurements in the recipe for you. I'm just gonna do it by weight because it's easier and you dirty less things. So we need 3 cups or 410 grams of peanuts. And then I have 2 cups of sugar, 400 grams of granulated sugar. This makes a lot. Don't come at me about the high sugar content. My recipe is a little bit different than most in that it uses both regular corn syrup and dark corn syrup. This adds just a little bit more depth of flavor. We're gonna spray our measuring cup with a little bit of non-stick cooking spray. Learned this from Christopher Kimball and Rachel Ray back in the day. And we're gonna do 1/2 cup of each, which you could also weigh out. We also need 1/2 cup of water. So we have those prepared. Then we're gonna need a teaspoon each of vanilla and baking soda. Baking soda is a nice addition because what it's gonna do is when you add it, it's gonna bubble up and make large air pockets within the peanut brittle. So it's not super hard. It's gonna actually be a little bit more crispy. So it's easier to eat. So we're gonna measure that out and I'm gonna have it prepared. The most important thing with peanut brittle is to have everything, all the ingredients on deck and ready. You're making candy, so things can go from perfect to overdone really quickly. So you want everything to be at the ready. I don't know if there's any science behind this, but I cover it if I'm preparing something in advance because I actually think that it'll evaporate out so you don't get as much vanilla. I don't know if that's true. So you can make this peanut brittle on 1 big 1/2 sheet pan or 2 1/4 sheet pans. 2 1/4 sheet pans, I think makes a little bit of a thicker brittle. You can do whatever you want. And we have 2 sticks of butter. That's what we're gonna need for this recipe, but I'm gonna use one of these sticks just to grease the pan. No need to use additional butter or to like open another stick. So I'm just gonna run it over the pan and grease it completely. Make sure there's some on the edges. Okay. All right. Just make sure it's nice and greased so it won't stick. Right before we get started, I'm also going to cut these just into tablespoons-ish, so that they melt in easier. Very easy to start. We're gonna get a large saucepan, something of this size. How many quarts is this? 3 quart. You don't really need bigger. 3 to 4 quart, I would say, nothing smaller. And we're gonna add in our sugar. And we'll also add the corn syrup. And the water. The last thing I'm gonna add in preparation before we get started is to just add some salt to the peanuts. And I'm gonna do a 1/4 teaspoon of Morton kosher salt. If you're using Diamond Crystal, I would do 1/2 teaspoon. And since the peanuts are already salted, you don't need to add too much salt, but I do like to finish the peanut butter with salt, so still be nice and salty and sweet. So before we get started, we do have to talk about thermometers. You're gonna either need a candy thermometer. Ideally, this is what you use. If you don't have that, you can also use an instant read thermometer. This is just gonna be a little bit more laborious in the fact that you're gonna have to always have, not always, but have your hand over the heat, which just gets hot. So a candy thermometer is ideal. I lost my little clip for my candy thermometer, so she's out of commission. So we're gonna use my ThermaPen, which is my favorite thing in the kitchen. But we're gonna start this on the stovetop. Here we go. We're gonna melt everything together so the syrup, or so the sugar dissolves. So we're using a 3 to 4 quart saucepan. You're gonna want it to be heavy duty, thick, ideally. That's gonna retain the heat best. It's gonna have even heating throughout, so there's no hot spots. If you're using a thinner pan that's not quite as thick, what might happen is that sugar could burn around the edges of the pan, which will burn the batch a little bit. So if that does happen, you can always brush the sides of the pan with a wet pastry brush, or you can use a rubber spatula to kind of scrape down the sides. The other thing is that you're gonna wanna use either a wood stirring utensil or a really high heat silicone spatula that has a plastic or wood handle. Otherwise, you're gonna be burning yourself and risk melting your spatula. You don't want that. So bring mixture to a boil. That took, the mixture is boiling. So we're gonna add in 1 cup of our butter. It shouldn't splash, but be careful. You just never know. We're gonna stir that in quick. Now is when it starts to smell really good. We're gonna cook this to 280 degrees, which is soft crack stage. So this is not gonna be the finished temperature. This will take about 15 to 20 minutes though. This is gonna take the longest of all of the heating, and I would recommend stirring it pretty frequently just to ensure it's heating evenly. Ooh, 220. So we got 60 degrees to go. It will bubble up quite high, but it should not bubble out of a 3-quart pan. Oh, yum. I can't wait to eat this. Grandma Gusty would bring this to Christmas, but she'd have it in an old Folgers coffee tin, and then she would hide it so that people wouldn't eat too much of it. And then she'd bring it out at like after dinner, and then you could have 1 or 2 pieces, and then she'd hide it again. Okay, so now we're gonna add the peanuts. I'm gonna grab those and the salt. And the peanuts will kind of stick together, but that's okay. The caramel tends to seize when you add in a cooler temperature ingredient, but once those peanuts come up to temp, then it'll loosen out. Okay, so now we added those at soft crack stage. Now we're gonna cook it to hard crack stage. Should I start that over? This will take less time, about 7 to 10 minutes, I would say. It is important at this stage, more than the last stage, to stir it nearly constantly. If you don't, the peanuts that are on the bottom hitting the pan will actually start to burn. Oh, my arm is tired. I should have worn shorts today. 305. Ooh, yeah. Perfect. All right, it's a nice golden peanut buttery brown. We're gonna bring this molten lava. Careful. We're gonna add in the vanilla. I add in the vanilla first. It's gonna splatter. Oh, it smells good. Okay, then we're gonna go in with the baking soda. And this will get nice and bubbly. Just start to kind of grow in size. I'm just gonna spray the back of a spatula. This will help us spread it out evenly. Here we go. Spread it out as evenly as you can. The more you spread it out, the thinner it'll be. And you want the brittle to be a little bit thinner than the peanut layer. It'll just make it easier and more enjoyable to eat. Oh, I just want to eat that, but it's dangerous. Don't do that. Now, before it hardens completely, I'm going to put some kosher salt on top. This is optional. You certainly don't have to do this. If you like salty peanut brittle, then I recommend it. And I'm doing kosher salt, not flaky sea salt. You can do either, but it's already so crunchy that I don't think you need the crunch from the flaky sea salt. Now this will chill for about 40 minutes until it's completely hard and the pan is cool, and then we can flip it out and crack it. A few people have asked me before if you can substitute the corn syrup. You can't really. There's not really a substitute for that. It is such a stable sugar source that it's really key for making a hard brittle. So unfortunately, there's not a substitute. I have one that I already made. This one's nice and cool. And the way that I pop it out is I just slam it on the counter by inverting it. And it comes right out. And then you can do a couple of things. You can just drop it and that can break into pieces, or you can crack it however you want. I just drop it. And then it breaks into more manageable pieces. Look at that. Nice organic look. Ooh! And then you have perfect little shards at those peanuts. So this can be stored at room temperature for a month. The key though is to have it in an airtight container. The nemesis of peanut brittle is moisture. So the moment you have moisture in the container that you're storing it is the moment that it's no longer crisp. So keep it in an airtight container. I do a Ziploc bag and just keep it on my countertop. Or if you're trying to make a big batch and gift it or get ahead of the holidays and make it in advance, you can store it in the freezer in a Ziploc bag for like up to 4 months. And then just be sure that you thaw it before you bite into it, because it's already hard, but freezing it will break your tooth. Oh my God, yum. So toasty. That's good. So addictive. If you like peanut butter, you're gonna love this. It's toasty, it's sweet, it's salty. I think the salt on top is necessary. My Uncle Bill would agree. It's delicious. I hope you enjoy this recipe for old-fashioned peanut brittle. I think this one would make Gusty proud. I'll link the recipe for this below in the caption. I'll also link all the equipment I used, thermometers that I recommend, the peanuts that I recommend. This is kind of a tricky recipe, so if you have any questions, comment below and I'll respond. And I hope you meet me back here next week for another Everyday Gourmet. Makes me excited for the holidays.